What's up, you guys? Happy Monday! All right, I just wanted to jump on really quick and chat with you guys. I put up a post last week that I was looking for some help doing client interviews, and I've had a lot of calls, and it's been amazing. So thank you guys. And there's something that's been a common thread. So I just want to speak to all of you that are perfectionists. Hello, I am also, hi Katie, also a recovering perfectionist. So I want to speak to this. So I think a lot of times we hold ourselves to high standards. We have a ton of integrity, and we do this whole like, if I can't do it perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all. And in the end, you guys, that comes back to bite you. Okay. So I don't care if, I don't care if you're you're a coach, you're an athlete, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, or whatever. If you have these perfectionist tendencies, it's going to stop you from actually taking action, right? Because we have this subconscious fear, and it's a protector. So we have the subconscious fear and we have the subconscious protector that if I can't do it perfectly, I'm just not going to do it at all, right? Or what if I do it and I say the wrong thing on a live video? Or what if I do it and I launch this program and ironic, you guys, ironic, because you know what just happened? My phone rang because I always forget to turn the turn the do not disturb on. So again, not being a perfectionist. So back in the day, that would have totally thrown me for a loop, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot, I didn't do XYZ, right? So thank universe for that. So what we need to understand is that if we think everything has to be perfect, and if we expect that everything has to be perfect, that is going to be the death of your happiness, the death of the growth of your business, the death of the growth of you as a person, right? Like, we have to fall, we have to make mistakes, we have to learn from them. And so I want you guys to understand that if you're stuck in perfectionism, you need to kind of look at where it came from, right? And I love my parents beyond measure, and they had really high expectations for me as a kid, which is why they became a perfectionist. And that's truthfully where I came up with a lot of the stories about what was going on in my life, and a lot of what I was searching for when I was going through my eating disorder was like, if I had the perfect body then, right? Like, I created this, if I had the perfect body, then I'll be XYZ, right? Which just isn't true. And so I want you guys to think about in your life, where are you creating expectations where you're like, I'm not going to do it unless it's perfect? Or maybe you don't even realize that's happening, but think about that. Like, do you expect yourself to be perfect? Do you expect your significant other to be perfect? Do you expect your kids to be perfect? Like, do you expect the world to go perfectly? It's not going to happen. It never will. Like, 2020 is a pretty good example of life not going the way that you want it to go, and you still being able to have growth, to have development, to create things, to like be a better version of yourself, even without it being perfect. And on a side note, if you let go of perfectionism, you're going to be so much happier, right? Like, expectation is the death of all joy. And if you're trying to be perfect, and if you think that you have to be perfect to ever enjoy anything, create anything, be anything, grow, you're never going to be happy, right? Like, you are literally like stunting your own happiness because you're stuck in this thing of like, if it has to be perfect, then I'm not going to do it. Or if I do it and it doesn't go perfectly, then I'm a failure, then I'm XYZ, right? So what I would advise all of you, so if you're an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur, I'm doing a free training next week inside of my Invincible Entrepreneur group, where we're going to talk about this. Because if you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, there's so many things of like, well, I know I should do this, but I know I should do that, but I know I should, but, because we have all these tendencies of perfection. So this is going to be one of the things I talk about next week in depth of like why it's happening, how do we deal with it, and how do we kind of move through it. So if you guys want to be in my group, drop me a line, I'll get you in that group. But for those of you that aren't, and this is still hitting a note, because you got to have the perfect nutrition, you got to have the perfect exercise, you got to have the perfect relationship, blah blah blah, whatever it is. Think about, is this serving me, right? Is this need for things to be perfect actually serving me, right? Ask yourself that question and then go, okay, is this real? Like, do I really believe it has to be perfect? Is this true? Like, is it true in my life right now? And is this mine? Because for a lot of us, you guys, these stories aren't ours, right? And like, if you were an achieving child and you had parents that held you to high standards, that wanted things to be right because they loved you, right? They were not doing it from a place of like, oh, I'm going to try to like jack you up. But as a kid, when we don't understand that, we create these stories and then they turn into protectors, right? So ask those 3 questions and go, what if I was to try something and fail? And how can I change my relationship to failure? Because if you can change your relationship to failure and you can change your relationship to uncertainty, you can do a ton of things in this world. So maybe you're that person sitting back going, I'm working my 9-to-5 job, but I actually have this dream and I have this vision and I know I could go for it. but my fear of failure and all my perfectionist stuff is keeping me from doing that, right? If that's you, you need to be in my group, right? Because we can get you over that hump, even if you have a side hustle, right? Look at in your life, where are you trying to be perfect and what's it doing to you? Is it stripping you of your joy? Is it stripping you of taking action? Is it just making life zero fun? So if you are a perfectionist, tell me about it. I would love to hear it. Like I said, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I still go through this of like, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be this. It has to be that, right? It doesn't. And I promise you, you'll get farther with messy action, with energy, with excitement than you'll ever be with trying to make things perfect. So hopefully that helps. Hope you guys are having an awesome Monday. And if you want inside of my group, if you want to be part of that training, let me know. It's just going to be 5 days of really how do you grow your business and how do you take care of yourself as an entrepreneur to make sure that you don't become the roadblock in your business. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Happy Monday. And I'll see you later.